I actually have been really not that I was that big a fan of Facebook anyway in the first place, but there was a time when it was kind of useful, but they seem to be going from bad to worse in terms of the way they are approaching sort of probes into their behavior. And the big thing that happened while I was away was just this story that came out about how much Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg were going, the lengths they were going to try and obfuscate, I guess would be the best word, against what Facebook's impact was on Russian interference, et cetera, and other matters. To the point of Zuckerberg coming out and, sort of defiantly saying, we're a force for good, Cheryl's doing a great job, all this sort of stuff. And I don't know, is it me that feels like they're mishandling the PR story here if they want to turn the ship around? I just feel like from my perspective, I feel like they're getting worse. They're making themselves look worse the more they're doing this, and it kind of feels like they're inexperienced in terms of how to handle the public perception of what has been happening with them.
Well, I think for them, really, Facebook is for the world, but also for the people at Facebook, for Zuckerberg himself. The genie's out of the bottle, the created Facebook, and they can't put it back in. And you know me, I love a good conspiracy. I actually think that they're out to get Zuckerberg because he would have run for the president. And I think there's forces, and I probably don't think that they're Republican, probably more likely Democrat, that are out to clip his wings. And I think the other thing that you're about to find is that the world is closing in on Facebook. They're demanding proper reporting of the Facebook stats at a time when Facebook's usage is actually collapsing. And I think that you'll see now that if you actually look at the changes that they've had to make to comply or appear to comply with public opinion, particularly political opinion, I think you'll find that the reach through Facebook, their advertising, and all the models that they had in the system, which was unregulated except by them, is now like it's probably completely broken.
Yeah,
would be my guess, because their behaviours are people that are sticking their fingers in dikes and bailing buckets out of sinking ships. Not that I think for a second that Facebook's in danger of disappearing, but I think maybe the Facebook business model, which is, remember, hardwired into that platform.
Yeah.
You can't just change it as this whole scenario has shown. Facebook was basically didn't have any people looking at who was posting what, and they got caught short. So I think this is, for them, this is a really, really tough time. I mean, how do you change the platform which was meant to be automated? I don't know.
Exactly. Just a disclaimer, of course, I'm aware of the irony of the fact that we're a user of their ancillary services like Instagram, who by definition are not really any better. But I think it's actually the main platform itself. I think that's the problem. Yeah. But having said that, I've actually been thinking in the back of my mind, am I going to reach a point where I'm going to have to stop using their services if they don't, I don't know, be a bit more genuine and sincere about what they're on about? And maybe, just maybe, the decision, I know, well, obviously from a financial perspective, going public was the best idea in the world because it made everyone rich at that company, but it might turn out to be the downfall of the company in the sense that it's the end of the party, like Justin Timberlake's character said in The Social Network. The day they went public is when it was probably the beginning of the end of maybe the major part of the actual network itself.
That's right. I think you're right. That is the end of the party. And, I think make no mistake that Facebook is pumping so much resource now into Instagram and WhatsApp, makes you think they're trying to get as far away from the Facebook model as possible.